What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Sam from TeamSamuraiX1 here, and this is my second upload of today. And again, first and foremost, happy Thanksgiving for those of you who are in the United States watching this video. I'm in Canada. My Thanksgiving was last month, but I know majority of my viewers are American, so happy Thanksgiving to y'all. Go give your girlfriend a kiss, give your mom a kiss, give your dad a kiss, whatever, give your dad a hug, give your dad a high five, like, yo, whatever you gotta do, show them that you're thankful, tell them that you're thankful, man, because at the end of the day, you gotta be thankful for something, like I am thankful for you guys that support me each and every single day. So thank you guys so much and a happy Thanksgiving. Today's second upload is gonna be a very special upload, is because I'm featuring a channel called Blade YGO. This kid came up to me at YCS Pasadena and he was like, hey Sam, my name is Jacob, I do this on YouTube. He's telling me how passionate he was for the game, and he was just telling me what he does on YouTube. And when I find different channels, I like to showcase them on my channel, especially when they have this flair and this uniqueness, you know, especially when a person has this flair and has this desire to just try to put their content out there. I really appreciate it a lot. And the reason why Blade YGO, Jacob, stood out to me the most is because he does something that nobody else does, like, you know what I mean? He has an animated dude, which is himself, talk to you and explain to you on what the new set is. He introduces the cards in a unique way. So I thought this was pretty cool. So I decided to guest upload him on the channel. So if you guys show him some support and check out his channel, you know, he's a really good kid, very humble kid, came up to me and he just told me how much he loved the game, and I just love that passion and desire for anyone that has this for the game. So check out Blade YGO. I'll leave a link in the description box below and enjoy this video, guys. Shoutouts to Blade for guest uploading his channel, and here we go. Is Nephthys Archetype worth it? Without further ado, let's jump into the video.
So with the introduction of hidden summoners finally coming to the TCG, we get a new ritual-based archetype known as the Nephthys Archetype. This archetype is revolved around Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys, a very old level 8 winged beast fire monster. So with all this in mind, I want to ask the question, is the Nephthys archetype worth it? Let's get right into it. So Nephthys is a ritual-based link deck focused around destroying cards to get effects, clear your opponent's field, and gain recurring resources over time. This strategy has 4 different effect monsters, 2 different ritual monsters, 2 different link monsters, 2 different spell cards, and 1 trap card. The 4 different effect monsters in the main deck, not including the ritual monsters, each have an on-field effect requiring you to destroy a card in your hand, and they also have an effect during the standby phase of the next turn when they are destroyed. Going into this bit by bit, we have Defender of Nephthys, which summons a level 4 or lower Nephthys from your hand by destroying a card in hand. Matriarch summons one from grave but negates its effects if it destroys a card in hand. Chronicler adds 1 Nephthys card from grave to hand, and Disciple adds 1 Nephthys monster from your deck to your hand. And then when each of these are destroyed during the next standby phase, you either destroy 1 Nephthys card from your deck with Defender, special itself from grave with Matriarch, add 1 Nephthys card from grave to hand with Chronicler, or you can add 1 Nephthys spell/trap with Disciple. For ratios, you definitely need to play at least 3 Disciple, considering the fact that it is overall the best Nephthys. Getting access to another Nephthys in your hand is pretty good. You can get access to your ritual monsters, which can be very important at times for starting your combos. And this is the only one that can destroy a card and then replace that card. Overall, you definitely need to play at least 3 copies of Disciple, as it's by far the best one. I would recommend not playing Defender of Nephthys, as this card really doesn't achieve that much. Think about it, you're destroying 1 card in your hand to special summon a level 4 or lower Nephthys monster from your hand. You really need the resources in this deck to keep going with your plays, and overall, this card just isn't that powerful. Even its destruction effect is really bad, as you have to destroy 1 from deck in order to wait another turn for it. Matriarch and Chronicler, however, are good one-ups for the strategy, as you can special them from the deck with the ritual monster avatar. And speaking of the rituals, they are the most important part of this strategy. Devotee of Nephthys is essential utility, getting you access to easy link plays, as well as any Nephthys monster from your deck. So when this card is ritual summoned, you can activate its effect in order to special summon 1 Nephthys monster from your deck. And also during the end phase of this turn, Devotee of Nephthys destroys itself. This effect is actually very powerful, as you can special summon any of the level 2s from your deck, but as well you can also special summon the level 8 Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys from your deck. This helps set up easy rank 8 plays, and just overall is actually pretty good. You can also easily access any one of your utility monsters that you need. In the graveyard, you can destroy one Nephthys card in your hand and special summon Devotee of Nephthys from the graveyard. Now this effect might not seem that good at first, but actually it's very good for putting an additional body on board. Not to mention this is a ritual monster which will come in handy later with one of the link monsters. You definitely need to run Devotee of Nephthys at 3, and you also need to run 3 copies of the next card, Cerulean, Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys. This card is basically the boss monster of the deck. It keeps coming back every standby phase like the original Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys. It is easy removal for monsters as you just blow up Nephthys cards in your hand and slash or field face up and destroy an equal number of monsters the opponent controls. It's also a pretty big body which can be nice. It's a level 8 which makes your rank 8 plays even easier to do, and overall is mandatory at 3 copies. The last 2 monsters for the archetype from Hidden Summoners are the link monsters, Nephthys the Sacred Preserver and Nephthys the Sacred Flame. Preserver is really important for this deck strategy as it gets you access to your Cerulean and can recur a ritual spell from the grave. It also has another effect where you can destroy one Nephthys monster it points to and special summon one Nephthys monster with a different original name from your graveyard, but its effects are negated. The reason why this second effect can be relevant at times is because if you have just any effect monster but not a ritual monster, you can use Nephthys the Sacred Preserver to bring back a ritual monster from your graveyard instead of summoning back an effect monster. This is again good with the Link 3, which I'll get to in a second, but overall, Nephthys the Sacred Preserver is mainly used for its first effect. It's just so powerful and so consistent for your strategy. You 100% need to play this card at 2 to 3 copies. You really don't need 3 copies, and you can definitely cut it down to 2. Nephthys the Sacred Flame is the last monster in the strategy. However, this card is very interesting as it's basically a very powerful boss monster. While not offering disruption, it has the following effect. While this card is in the extra monster zone, monsters your opponent controls cannot target Nephthys monsters in the main monster zones for attacks. This card gains effects based on the number of ritual monsters used for its link summon. 1+ cannot be destroyed by battle. 2+ cannot be destroyed by card effects, also gains 1200 attack. Or 3, neither player can target this card with card effects, also gains another 1200 attack. So basically, every time you use a ritual monster for this card's link summon, let's say you use 2 ritual monsters for this card's link summon, it cannot be destroyed by battle and it cannot be destroyed by card effects and also gains 1200 attack, essentially gaining its first 2 effects. If you can somehow link summon this card with 3 ritual monsters, then this card is very hard to deal with. However, it's not impossible to deal with. Remember, it's not like it's unaffected by everything. So you can easily use a card like Borolo Dragon, or you can also use a card like Ningirsu in order to out Nephthys the Sacred Flame. I think in some cases this card will win you the game. However, in most cases this card can be outed. The main spell I'm going to talk about is Rebirth of Nephthys. This card is easily able to ritual summon one of your 2 ritual monsters, but the important part about this card is if you use a Devotee of Nephthys or Cerulean Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys, you can destroy 1 card on the field. That is the most important effect about this card, because of the fact that it lists specifically Devotee of Nephthys and Cerulean Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys. You can play pre-preparation of rites with this card and search either ritual monster. But as well, what's important about this card is the fact that you can destroy 1 card on the field. This is most certainly a going second strategy, and so that removal effect can be very important at times. If your opponent doesn't stop the ritual summon, this is all 1 effect, meaning your opponent doesn't have time to respond to the destruction effect. If you use a Devotee to summon another Devotee with Rebirth, you can destroy 1 card on the field, and your opponent cannot respond to that unless they just respond to the activation of Rebirth of Nephthys. This card is most certainly the most important spell card in the deck, and is definitely a very good card for the strategy. The other 2 cards in this strategy are honestly very lackluster. The first card is Hope of Nephthys. This card is awful. It says target 1 other Nephthys card you control and 1 card your opponent controls, destroy them. You can only activate 1 last Hope of Nephthys per turn. This card is awful. You are inherently going -1 for that turn. Obviously, the following turn you get the standby phase effect of whatever Nephthys monster you use, but at the same time, why would I ever play this card when I can just use the ritual spell to remove an opponent's problematic card? I feel as though this card may have honestly been made specifically for dueling. The last card from Hidden Summoners is the trap card Awakening of Nephthys. While it gives 300 attack for 2 your Nephthys monsters while it's face up on the field, the real effect that you want is its second effect. When it's destroyed in the spell and trap zone and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one Nephthys monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard, but destroy it during the end phase. While this effect can be good at times, it really won't be played. This card requires too much setup to resolve. It's not that easily accessible, you don't have all the inherent ways of destroying it, and overall it just really isn't that good and can be very inconsistent. As well, this card doesn't actually do anything on the field. Okay, yes, it gives 300 attack, but at the same time, does that really impact the game that much? Not whatsoever. The last card that I will talk about that did not come out of Hidden Summoners, but is in the archetype technically, is actually the original Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys. This is most certainly a one of in the deck, as it's very easily accessible. Remember, it's a level 8 winged beast monster, meaning you can search it off of Nephthys the Sacred Preserver. But at the same time, you can also special summon it off of Devotee. It's most certainly a solid one of, and you definitely need to play it out one copy. The last thing I want to mention is the fact that there are multiple builds for this deck. The Dino build focuses around destroying your baby dinosaurs for more powerful plays and more value, while the Shino Bird build focuses around the synergy that the rituals are all level 8 winged beasts. I think an incantation build, however, that also plays Pankratops and hand traps is probably the best build for this deck, since that is a more going second oriented build. This deck in the end costs $20.49. While this deck obviously isn't amazing, it isn't bad at all, and it most certainly isn't as bad as the Mayakashi archetype from the same set. For a fun deck, I would say this deck is most certainly worth it. It's only $20 for the core, which really isn't that much compared to other decks. It's a great ritual deck with a lot of ways to play it, and overall, I would recommend it if you like this archetype and you are considering picking it up. Thank you guys so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed. If you guys want to check out my thoughts on whether the Prank Kids archetype or the Mayakashi archetype are worth it or not, go down into the description and check out my channel, Blade YGO. I tend to ask the question, is it worth it a lot, but as well I discuss really anything relating to Yu-Gi-Oh! Whether that be new content or actual theorio, etc. Thank you so much, Sam, for letting me guest upload on your channel. I really appreciate it so much. And with that, I hope to see you guys soon.
I feel like Usain in the cheetah print. Talk fresh game, I don't need a minute. R.I.P. the game, I need a minute. Okay, let's proceed with it. I'm in the house, got the deed with it. These bozos always sneak this and they taking shots. I'm a key with it, like no, this league business.